Hello, peoples. Me again. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Or excellent. What? What's up, gamers? Okay, CMA and FTC. Oh, so you're trying to use streaming as your linchpin in this Microsoft Activision merger, right? You're trying to use streaming to define anti-competitive effects, right? If that's the case, then how do you explain Netflix? Just saying. Listen to this. Microsoft downplays clouds as regulators use nascent tech as anti-competitive merger linchpin. What's up, Tweaktown? Says here, Xbox executive management downplays the significance of cloud gaming as regulators like the FTC and CMA use streaming. FTC and CMA use streaming as linchpin to block Microsoft Activision merger. Oh, okay. Okay, so you use streaming to block the merger. Okay. So that explains why that explains why the CMA put a 10-year block on the deal, huh? To give Sony time to come up with the infrastructure for cloud gaming and streaming. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. Anyway, says here, Xbox management downplayed the importance and significance of cloud gaming as regulators use the nascent tech as a linchpin to their anti-merger argument. Says here, in a recent interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Xbox Game Studio boss Matt shared an interview perspective on cloud gaming. According to Matt, the tech isn't a big part of Xbox, and it's more an experimental and addictive part of Microsoft gaming focus. Despite entering private testing in 2019 as Project xCloud and moving to a public beta in 2020 as Xbox Cloud Gaming includes as a part of an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, Microsoft apparently consider its streaming service to be highly experimental. Then it says in all black here, for us to be clear, it is a very, very small market. I am not even sure you would call it a market yet. In fact, it's very small usage and very small audience, the Xbox Game Studio boss said. Says here, somewhat contrary to this remarks, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella proudly boasted that Xbox cloud streaming has seen 20 million players as of October 2022. This is likely driven largely by Fortnite, which can be accessed via Xbox Cloud Gaming without a Game Pass subscription. Even still, those are some impressive numbers, but we have to remember that gamers may typically use cloud for a myriad of use cases, including trying games before they download or buy, rather than all of those 20 million people playing games on the go. The cloud segment is indeed very small when compared to the rest of the industry. European Commission Vice President Margaret Vestager has said that cloud gaming represents around 1 to 3% of the global total video game industry. Analyst firm PwC estimate that the game industry made around $214 billion in 2021. We're talking about the pandemic, which is the year that the EU agency likely looked at, and given a 1 to 3% ratio, cloud gaming would have made 2.1 to 6.4 billion in 2021. That's not exactly a lot, but it's not insignificant either. For reference, Activision Blizzard made 8.8 billion in 2021. Elsewhere in the interview, Matt goes on to say that cloud streaming is almost experimental for Microsoft. This indeed seems to be true for all companies who are trying it, except, of course, for NVIDIA, who has built a powerful infrastructure of native high-end dedicated desktop-grade graphics card to propel its service. NVIDIA GeForce Now seems like the de facto example that cloud game streaming can indeed work well. Then it says in all black here, so for us, it is something that we consider. almost more experimental, that we're trying out to see how it works. We just announced it. We've signed some great partnership with Nvidia and announced some other partnerships. So for us, it comes back to the content, which is really my focus. Although cloud is experimental, that it represents just 1 to 3% of global games revenue. Cloud is apparently important enough for Microsoft to create streaming specific hardware in order to tap the emerging segment. Reports indicate that Microsoft has been developing a low-cost streaming only Xbox mini console that acts as a conduit for its cloud game service. The device was originally conceived in 2016 as Project Hobart and has since been reworked into Project Keystone. Xbox Gaming CEO Phil Spencer even had a Keystone device prototype on his shelf in a recent stream. And then it says Microsoft has also made strong efforts to expand Xbox cloud gaming to practically every consumer device where games can be played. This includes partnership with Samsung to offer an Xbox app on television, allowing console-free gaming experience that can be beamed remotely directly to smart TV. Another example is the company partnership with Logitech for its new G Cloud streaming only handheld device. Furthermore, we've seen Microsoft partnered with Razer to help promote the Razer's Edge Android-powered handheld, which can run Xbox cloud gaming. Regulators like the FTC in the United States and the CMA in the United Kingdom are trying to use cloud gaming as a relevant market to define possible anti-competitive effects that could result from the Microsoft-Activision merger. Whether or not these arguments will stand up in court remains to be seen. With its requests for a court injunction, the FTC will bring its case before a federal judge, whereas the CMA will have to face Microsoft and Activision lawyers in appeals court. Well, that's the end of the article. Good article, Tweak Town. Again. Well, cloud gaming, huh? Cloud gaming is experimental. Cloud gaming is about infrastructure. Just ask Nvidia. But the CMA, the FTC and the CMA is trying to use streaming as their argument. If they're going to do that, then they need to look at Netflix, you know, and how they're doing and how they're doing our streaming. Cloud gaming is about, you know, infrastructure, and cloud gaming is also about content, like Matt said in this article. So it really comes down to infrastructure and having things in place, you know, so people can play their games on the go, on the fly, wherever they are, you know. And to say that is anti-competitive, you need some solid concrete proof that cloud streaming is anti-competitive. And if you're going to go that route, then you need some example, because Netflix is a good example. People stream movies from Netflix on a consistent basis. Matter of fact, PlayStation let you stream their games from I think it's PS Plus. So to try to use that as anti-competitive, you need some solid concrete argument, you know, because you got to have the infrastructure in place. That's number one before you can even get to the next step. And if you can't come up with a solid concrete argument that sticks, then my question to the CMA and the FTC is like, okay, why did you block this deal again? Just saying, you know. and Microsoft was willing to work with anybody. They know that they can't keep Call of Duty to themselves. That's why they were giving out 10-year deals all over the place. They know this. But now, you know, the flashlight is on the CMA and the FTC now. It's like, okay, if you're trying to use streaming as your argument, are you worried about the numbers or are you worried about something else? Just saying. And that's what the judge is gonna ask them. You know, are they worried about numbers? Because I mean, look at Netflix, look at Amazon. They stream movies, and they're doing pretty good. And they're doing pretty good, as far as streaming goes. So, what was the reason again? FTC, CMA, that you blocked this deal again? What were you so worried about? If you're trying to use streaming as your argument, in order for streaming to grow, you need people on it. I'm just saying. Yeah, you come up with streaming, cloud streaming as your, cloud gaming is another icing on the cake. Cloud gaming is another icing on the cake of video games. So, if you're trying to use stream in order for streaming to grow, in order for a streaming service to grow, you need people, meaning consumers. Just saying. So, if that's the route that they're trying to take, then yeah, they're gonna have a tough time in court trying to prove that argument. You can't say anti-competitive just because someone's streaming service is growing. What if the consumer likes the service? Then what? Just saying. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. You know, if that's their argument, they got to come up with some solid, concrete argument, because in order for streaming to grow, a streaming service to grow, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon, you need people. I'm just saying, they need people. So if that's the route you're trying to go, and saying that is anti-competitive, just saying, yeah. This to me, the FTC and the CMA didn't do their homework or their research on this, or maybe they don't understand cloud gaming. You know, I mean, look, when you try to remove Nintendo from the equation, Nintendo has a fan base, you know. They play COD, and they want to play all the CODs that's been made. So, if Nintendo comes up with a streaming service now, and get Call of Duty on the Switch, then what? Is that anti-competitive? Because Nintendo already has a fan base. They already have a fan base. They already got a base. It's pretty big. And you try to remove them from the equation. You're talking about Call of Duty on the Switch? Then you're gonna have to explain how did Call of Duty get on all those other Nintendo platforms. Just saying. But other than that, man, to me the CMA and the FTC need a solid, concrete argument, because in order for a streaming service to grow, you need people. You know, you need people, and if you're and if people like the service and what they're getting, then what? I mean, and if the content that like it says in the article, content, and if people are getting all their content from streaming, then how is that anti-competitive? Just saying. Anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Bored, dark side. Come on. Peace.